Hi crafty friends, so I'm back and I'm really excited because now I know what I'm going to do with my envelopes. Because at first I didn't know. I thought they were going to be, well, they started out like this, plain old manila envelope, and I turned them into that. So at first I thought I wanted to make them, I don't know exactly how, but I wanted to use them as like ephemera packs, like to do little ephemera packs, maybe with a theme, like I don't know, some kind of a theme, and use them as ephemera packs. But then I was like, you know, I was enjoying. I'm not when I craft. I used to go to, you know, when I used to go to crops and stuff like that. I don't talk a lot when I craft. I get in the zone and I'm doing my own thing, and it's just so relaxing. I don't talk a lot, so I got a lot of time to think when I was doing all this collaging by myself. So I think I know what I'm going to turn them into. But let me show you how they turned out. They're kind of similar, but not exactly. But you can see all the different layers. There's not a whole lot going on, and I did not de-stress in between layers. So I'm going to try to do a little bit of that de-stressing now. So I think what threw me off a little bit was that I started by categorizing my ephemera. I started by doing all these warm colors, again, because I feel like, you know, I'm in a fall mood. And also I wanted to do all my medieval mirage little scraps, which is that Moroccan, you know, that Moorish, you know, look. So I kind of separated those. So, you know, I don't know if that helped, because I see a lot of the girls, when they use their scraps, they just use whatever scraps they find. So maybe next time that I do a project like that. And the inspiration for these projects were these images. Maybe next time I do a project like that, I'll just, you know, do whatever I find in my scrap pile and not categorize by color or texture or theme, you know, mental theme that I had in my head. So what I did is that I cover the inside here a little bit, just a little bit, because that's going to show. I decided to make journal covers out of them. Why not? Why can't I do that if I wanted to? So this is how they're going to, of course, you know, they're going to bend like this, like the regular envelope. And then, you know, I get, you know, some of the little spots. Sometimes I need to glue them back on. So let me show you what I had in mind. And then, because it's a beautiful rainy day, we're in the middle of a tropical little storm, but nothing's happening, just a little bit of rain. But it's just such an awesome day for crafting. So I am like, you know, I was doing all this little collaging and thinking of my mixed media days that I miss. And I said, you know what, this is going to be, I already know it's going to be a journal cover. I already know that most of the things that I'm going to add to it are going to probably be covered by trims and all kinds of stuff. So why don't I do mixed media anyway? Because that's what mixed media to me is. You know, it's layers and layers of goodness. And then at the end, it turns out to be not at all what you thought it was going to be. So that was the motivating factor for me. So let me get an idea, because I'll tell you all what I wanted. Like I said, I want to build, this is not enough layers for me. Because again, I got my mixed media thinking cap on. So I'm thinking textures and volume and a lot of color, and I don't know, I'm thinking of stuff like that. So I've been thinking of, so this is going to be my journal cover right here, just like that. See, that's going to be the front. So how cute would that be? So I'm thinking, this is what I was thinking. I want to do textures. I want to build up my layers and layers and layers of different textures. Even though, like I said, some of that texture is going to be covered with fabric or whatever, you know how I do my journals. I like to veil them. I call them putting on a veil. So whatever I choose to put on top of them, most of it is going to be hiding anyway, but I don't care. I just want to get the, you know, I got like the mixed media urge inside of me. So I'm going to go for it. Okay, so this is pretty much, you know, pretty much that's it. That's it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably cut here a little bit and make that a little pocket. Yeah, why not? So I'm thinking, guys, I'm going to do, okay, I want to do textures and layers, but I don't want to have too much dimension because I don't want to, I don't know, I just don't want it thick, like a lot of thickness, but I do want the appearance of a lot of layers. So I think I'm going to accomplish that by distressing, by stamping, by stenciling, and by doing my favorite thing that I used to love to do, and that is by adding some micro beads. And you can't get smaller than micro beads. So it's not like flakes, you know, it's just, there's like even tinier than seed beads. So it's a nice way to add texture without adding a lot of like, I don't know, a lot of volume to the texture. So that's the other one. Look how pretty. Oh, these are gonna, oh my God, this is so inspiring me. So with my stencil, I didn't want to do like stencil with painting. I want to do just tiny little bit pieces of stenciling, but I wanted to do it with my, either my homemade modeling paste, but I'm going to try something new. That well, it's not new, I've used it before, but I haven't used it here. But I think it's going to work with my mixed media because it's thinner. I'll show you in a little bit. But anyway, since I already knew that I wanted to make these a junk journal cover, I don't want to do any of, the reason I folded them and, you know where my spine is going to be, because I didn't want to open it up and maybe do stenciling like that, because even though this doesn't crack at all, it says no cracking, I don't know if once the stenciling dried and I turn it, it's going to crack. So I don't know. So just to be safe, even though it says no crackling, just to be safe, I'm going to stay away from the spine. I'm going to keep my stenciling compound away from the spine, just in precaution to that. Okay, so I know that I have a cute little pocket here for like secret stuff, but I have wasted space in there where I can do another little pocket either up here or on the side. So I think I want to do my pocket, I don't know, do I want to do it on the side? I think I want to do it up here. So since I want to do it up here, I have to do it with my scissors, because, and I think I'm going to do it with I was going to do it with my cutter, but I don't think I'm going to do it with my cutter. I'm going to do it with my scissors. So all that I'm going to do, I don't know if I'm on camera, I'm just going to cut a very tiny little, tiny. Is this doing it? Nope. So very tiny, just to release. Just to release this guy right here. See, now I have my other pocket here. You see that? Right here. So I don't know if I'm going to do my punch. I could if I wanted to. I don't know if I'm going to do my punch here. I don't want to cut any of this off. So I think I'm going to do a pocket there, but it's going to be like, sorry. And you just cut, see, these little loose ends. Gotta make sure they're all, not that it'll matter once we get all done. I don't think I want to do a little cutout here, because I want it to kind of be like a secret pocket. I don't want it to be that obvious. Plus, I don't want to cut any little bit of that. So that's it. That's it. So I'm going to have a pocket here and a pocket up here, and that will be my front and back journal cover. So that'll be nice. So now, first thing we're going to do, build up our layers. So I'm going to start by distressing. Distressing is our friend. So see, here's my other little layer. I didn't cut this little piece right here. So now I'm excited to get it done because I know in my head what I want to do. And that makes me happy. So that's it. That's it. Okay? So, since we're not doing the stenciling issue yet about worrying about back here or whatever, we're not doing that yet. Let me zoom you in a little bit this way so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I can work like this because I'm not worrying about the stencil yet. So I want to do a little de-stressing. You see how I didn't de-stress between the layers? I didn't do that. So I want to do a little bit, just very little. Let me start in the back in case I don't. Like, you know, almost nothing. Like, I don't know. Let's see. Just a little bit between the layers, like literally nothing. Let's see, it gives a little bit of depth. There's something going on there, you just can't tell. Let me show you up close. You see? See how that's starting? So yeah, I took a little lunch break, and my hubby came home for lunch, so we had lunch together, and we were watching the news a little bit about the storm, but there's like actually 3 tropical things forming. I live in Alabama, but my family's in Florida. Thank God nothing is going to Florida. Some of it is dwindling out someplace, but it is going to some other people's home, and that's so sad. And usually it's people that don't need the thing. Yeah, I like it. Just a little bit. You don't have to be that precise when we're adding texture. It's messy. You don't have to be precise at all. If you can see what I'm doing. Just kind of going, of course I'm going through the edges, but besides the edges, I'm just kind of going in a little bit too, you know. So right there, I'm getting a little bit of texture. Yep, I am. That looks good to me, guys, for now. Came off a little bit. This also helping with this distressing is that when the glue comes apart, when the little edges come apart, I can always see them. Let me bring it up a little notch and see. Oh yeah. So that makes a big difference. Look at the difference. I don't know if you can see it, but there is some de-stressing going on versus nothing. So let me do a little bit on the inside. I think I'm going to use my whitest one. Just to do a little. Yeah, just to get a little bit of that color on here. So this is kind of like the lacy way, but I think it looks nicer too this way because, yes, you're doing your edges, but you're also getting some on the paper and it's making the paper pop, literally. So I'm really excited. I don't know when I'm going to finish this. I don't know what I'm going to use inside, which I can pretty much use anything I want since there's such a collage of things going on in here. That I can literally use any paper collection from any designer that I want. This would make a really good, authentic, real junk journal. I'm calling a real junk journal like made out of junk, which, you know, we kind of call this junk journaling now, which it is. But I use printables. I love printables. And, you know, if you're going to get picky about it, which, you know, I really don't care. It's not really junk journaling because, you know, printables are not junk. But I love printables. And since I craft to make me happy, also to share and show you guys, but mainly, you know, we got to do what makes us happy. So I don't know, this would make a really nice real junk journal, or my version of a junk journal where I use printables. But there's just so much going on in here that it can be any kind of journal you want it to be. Yeah, I'm liking, I love all this stuff. So there we go. De-stress the heck out of it. Now we're going to do the front. Over. And my little de-stressor little wandy thing. And I'm going to do the corners, but for the corners I'm going to use my finger sponge, I call it. I don't know what it's called. Oh yeah, it's going to be beautiful. So that's the inside. Okay, so my little wandy tools are going to be put away. My bone folder. Okay, so I'm going to start doing the edges. I'll pull you back a little bit. I'm using Vintage Photo. I was going to use that corduroy one that I like too, but I don't think so. Because, not that I'm going too grungy, because I don't do a lot of grunge, even though I love when other people do it. But I think I'm going to go a little bit extra grunge for me. Which is not too grungy, but it'll be a little. Because I'm going to do a lot of the de-stressing on the edge of the paper here. So you see? And of course, you know, like I said, this is going to be covered with pretty laces and trims, and you're not going to see any of it, but it'll look like a little hidden work of art. So now let's de-stress the inside. I'm even doing a little bit the inside of the envelope. It's going to be fun working with all these textures, but I'm going to have to be patient and let them, because that's the whole thing, you have to let them dry. So I probably, you know, won't be able to show you today because it won't be dry, but I'll show you once the final project, I'll show you, and then I'll probably link this video. Okay, so that's done. So to be honest, this is not at all why I walked in here today. I had another project in mind. I have a couple of junk journals kind of started that I want to finish because I promised some people some things. So I'm working on a couple of, I might show you a little bit what I'm working on a couple of journals. I'm not going to de-stress that because I don't know, I might use a little piece of fabric here. I don't know. Maybe I'll de-stress it just in case I don't use the fabric. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Yeah. I got a little lip here sticking out. We'll cut that off. And we're kind of good to go here. Yeah, let me do the spine, even though I don't think I'm going to. I'll find a couple of little spots here. Like I said, this isn't going to make a difference, but I'm like weird about that. Okay, so what did I say? I said I wanted to do the spine. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and, oh, it's getting windy out there now. But believe it or not, the birds are happy. The cats are all cuddled together on the porch. Poor things, they don't get to play in the yard today. Okay, so that's it for the distressing for me. So let's get this party started. So for the layers, move it back a little bit. Okay, also I'm not done. I forgot I wanted to do some stamps. Oh no. Before I start doing layers, I'm gonna do some stamps. So this is my secret treasures. And I think I want to layer the stamps a little bit. So I have these stamps that I just bought not too long ago because I was inspired by Angela Kerr. So yeah, I'm going to do these stamps and then I'm going to layer them up. Let's see. Since I'm kind of trying to get them to be a little bit alike. Ooh, wouldn't that be nice with like a little oval stamp? I'm trying to see what I want to use. This might look kind of nice, maybe. Or like this and then this. Yeah, kind of like that. Okay, so, oh, this one's pretty too. Decisions. I think I like that. That one, maybe this one maybe, and then I thought I maybe, I can always do like another little collage in the back. Well, I don't know about the back. Well, let's just do the front, and if I want to do the back later, I will. So these are nice layering stamps. They're blank. I'll list them underneath. I'm not sure who they're from, but they're like blank, but they act really nice to layer with other stamps. So these are Tracy Fox's stamps. These are very nice, Saturday Stamper. These are the longer, like the thinner little ones. Okay, so that's good. So let me just do these a little bit. Yeah, that'll be like, look, right here, another layer. Another layer right here and then. Sorry if you can hear my fan, but it's not hot per se, but it's a little muggy. I bought a couple samples of some of the things I'm going to use so I can show you. So let's see how we're going to do this one. Let's start with this guy right here. So this is, of course, this is my front. So I'm thinking of maybe like here. And then like, I don't know. Something like that, maybe. Yeah, why not? Yeah, I think that might work. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to do both of them. Okay. I don't want to cover my, I like these flowers a lot. I don't want to cover my shutter thing. I'll do something like that. I'll make some of it go on the flap. And then that would be like that. That'd work. This little square one is a little bit bright. Like a little brighter than the other one. think. De-stress it a little bit. I don't think I have enough ink in here. Oh yeah. Like that. Yeah, like that. Or like that. Like that. That looks nice. Okay. So I know I want to do some stamping for sure. And that's why I think I'm using the Vintage Photo, because I love to stamp with Vintage Photo because it's so, even though this is mixed media, guys, but it's going to be a journal cover. Because usually when I worked on pieces like this, I would use our Carvio stuff, or I would use, I would seal everything so that everything is like nice and sealed and nothing bled. Like if I was using different colors of pencils or crayons or something, it's really, you have to pay a lot of attention how you do your layers and stuff, because they can bleed, one can bleed into the other. But since this is like the appearance of mixed media, it's like not really like authentic. Like, you'll see the layers. So that's pretty good. And then that's the little flap. So I'm gonna do, see, it kind of blends in. You can't really tell that much. So let's do this guy. More or less the same thing. Put some stamps in the back too, but maybe I'll add that later, or maybe not. I don't know, I have some space back there I'm looking at. Okay, so that's that. I'm kind of looking at the other one, so I can kind of see what I did. See, with the de-stressing, it kind of blends. See, this is not sticking out. It's not looking too pronounced. It just kind of blends in with all, because you have that Vintage Photo color going on everywhere. So it just looks like one big canvas. So it's perfect. Oh yeah, I'm liking that a lot. And then this guy is going to go like right here. Yep. Okay, so now that all this is done, and all the de-stressing and everything, this would be nice to turn into like an art journal, but I don't think so. I think I know what I have in mind, but it's a top secret. It's a top secret. Yep, the State Department will get me if I reveal it. Okay, so that's it. See? That's it. So, okay, let me put this away again. I won't be needing that. I also took this out, and I might use some of it. I don't know if I will or not. Look how pretty. This is like, it's just folk art. It's like look how pretty this color is. See, you can see the metallic sheen. See that? I really like that. So I don't know if I might use a little bit, maybe like in the corners or something. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I use a little bit just in the corners. It is this metallic bronzy looking color that's really pretty. Yeah, that added a little bit more texture. Why not? Oh, there's my pin. Okay, sorry, I'm back. could use some rough and buff and rough. Use a little bit of that. But anyway, I didn't bother looking for it because I saw this bronze color and I just fell in love with it. Okay, so that's that. So now for more texture, I'm going to use my favorite stamps, my go-to stamps. One is my Crackle stamp that I love, and the other one's my Script. And when you use this with any of the Tim Holtz Distress stuff, it's awesome because you just get a little faded little thing to it. I'm going to use a little stamping pad. And very loosely. I think I'm going to start with my Script. Very light. You see? How light? Can you see? I can barely see it. So just kind of scattered around. Very little bit. Some on the inside. I love this stamp. It just has just enough texture, but not too much. So you see how it's just enough. Just enough. I think I'm going to do a little bit on top of these windows. I think this is my focal point, so see? Stamping and stamping here. See how that even made this whole little collage blend in a little bit more. Do a little bit here. Perfect. So, this one, same thing. Stamping. So right there, wham, all this texture in 2 seconds. All this extra texture. And I'm still going to do a little bit of the crackling. The Crackle stamp. Yeah, that's enough of this one. Now just a little touch of the Crackle stamp. And let me see if you can see it. Let me start with this guy. Let me see if you'll be able to see. See? You can see both. This is the Script, and there's the Crackle stamp. It's just a nothing. Literally, it's just like a little nothing. But it really, look at that. Look how pretty that looks. Focus. You see that? That's the Crackle stamp right here. That's just enough. Oh God, I love this. Beautiful. A little bit on the inside. All over the place. Maybe a little bit more here. Yeah. Oh my God. I love this. Love, love, love. So since I have so many colors going on, I have going to have a lot of texture going on. And I want to use cream or white trims. I want to use a lot of that because I love doing that. It's kind of like my little signature thing. But since I want to use a lot of creams and stuff, that's why I want to keep my stenciling white. But actually it's not white because this is my second little bottle because I'm working on a project in my bedroom. And I'm covering all the little holes, like I took down a lot of stuff, a lot. And I'm covering all the holes and filling in stuff. So I didn't want my husband to bring me any of that joint compound, you know, that stuff that you use when you do sheetrock. And then you put the tape, on top of the tape you put this stuff. I think it's called joint compound. But anyway, I didn't want to get that because that, I know that cracks. And I know that's a little heavy. Like, remember I wanted to have dimensions and stuff, but I want to be as kind of flat as I possibly can. So he got me this spackling. Spackling? Is that what it's called? Spackling compound. This is my second little bottle that I use for my bedroom. I only need a little bit left for the bedroom, so I guess I can use that here in my room for my stuff, because I'm almost done with the bedroom project, which my goal, I have all these goals. My goal was to finish that remodeling thingy before Christmas. But you know, when you depend on other people, not just your work, it's hard, you know. And now with everything that's going on, and so, oh, I didn't do the inside of the crackle here. So anyway, I've been doing my part little by little, whatever I could do on myself little by little. So I was putting that on, and this goes on real thin. I think this is for like little holes. I'm sure if I read it, it'll tell me. It's for like little patches of little holes and little things. It's not like the joint compound that's like blah, for like a lot of spaces. So I'm thinking that would be perfect for my stenciling, because that's what I want. A little bit of texture, but not too much. So, but I think I'm gonna stencil last. Am I gonna stencil last or not? Maybe not. Because there's another step I wanna do. There's another step I wanna do, and I don't know if I should, because once I stencil, I think I'm gonna stencil next. Because once I stencil, I don't want to touch anything. And then I'm going to do the final little step that I'm going to show you in a little bit. Okay, so the stamping, crackling, you know, whatever, all that is done. So I have lots of texture looking things there. Now, for my stencils, what to pick? Definitely you can see like a Moroccan thing going on here. So, and I love, I'm going to show you my favorite stencil. Because I love all this Moorish stuff. I love that. I took out my stencil box, guys. Let me move it back a little more. Which is busting at the seams. So I don't know what I'm going to use, but it cannot be like a large stencil, because I don't want the stencil to be the main thing. I want my collaging to be the main thing, and then the stencil be like a subtle here, there. My Swiss dot stencil that I love. I love that. Now I'm good. You want to hear that I love everything. Oh, a bigger Swiss dot. These are clean. I mean, they're stained, but they're clean. They should really be organized by categories, guys. I haven't had time really. Oh, here, see these. This Moroccan looking motif. I love that a lot. I've used that a lot. But I don't think this is too big. This is the theme that I'm going for, but these stencils are too big for that. These are masks and stuff. No. Maybe. Maybe that. That might work. A little bit of that. Okay, so that's a maybe. I love this stencil. This I have never used. I love this, and I'm dying to use that. Oh, I'm dying maybe for a boho junk journal. Nope. Another splatter. Nope. These are some masks that I made and I really like a lot. I love this one, guys. Can you see her? She's a ballerina. It's a ballerina stencil. I love it. I should have used this on my ballerina book. My ballerina journal. See, so you forget what you have. See, I could have used this on my bee journal that just went out. Okay, guys, so I gotta make another bee journal now so I can use that. And another ballerina journal so I can use that. These are masks. 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 Yes. Oh, I like this. I like that. Not necessarily the elephant. You see these? Yeah, that's a maybe. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. What else do I have here? These are masks. So as you guys can see, oh, wait a minute. No, these are too big still. I think I'm gonna go with those little ones. Oh God, but I love these for a movie. God, I wish I had those in smaller. Okay, so as you can see, I don't literally have to buy one stencil till the end of time. See, I could have used that. More Swiss dots. Oh God, this, you see how this whole thing going on with my windows here. Oof. Oh, I love that. Maybe that can be on the inside. I don't know. Okay, so I got enough to pick from. So, okay, you guys can be put away. I love that. Because look how nice that would look with my window arches here. So maybe I can do that in the inside, like a little focal point. That could be a possibility. So, okay. So I am in love with this motif, which is very, but I think it's too big. I don't want that much stenciling going on. It's too much surface to have crack the material. So I like this because I love that medallion thing. But maybe a little bit of this, maybe just like a touch of that. I don't know, guys, I'm so confused. Too much stuff. Okay, definitely this background thing here, because it's a little bit like, you know, what I'm kind of looking for, but it's smaller, so that might work. Okay, so I'm still gonna keep this little medallion thing on the side just in case. So see, I think little touches of that, not too much, is going to be enough. Okay, so let's do it. Let's just get to it. So I'm going to use this. Like I said, this is that color that later on it turns into white. Let me bring it up a little bit. It'll be white. It'll turn white. And it turns, this is paintable. They say to sand it a little bit and then you can paint it, but I didn't do that in my room. I just, I just went ahead and I just paint over it. So let's see, this could be a total flop, but then again, in art there's never a flop. Everything is beautiful, even the mistakes. So I'm thinking it'll be like a little white, but I think this is like opaque white. I don't think it's solid white. I think it's like an opaque white. So I'm hoping that it'll be like a little opaque. So see, just enough. That should dry white and it'll be like you can't even see it. I'm going to do a little bit over here. Maybe the other spatula might be better. Just a little bit coming off the page right here. Yeah. Maybe going a little bit over the stamp. Perfect. Then I'm going to do some in the back. Just for fun. Maybe a little bit here. You see why I wanted to keep this away from the spine, because I'm not sure it says it doesn't crack. I don't think this one cracks. But anyway, I didn't want to risk it. Okay, so that's good enough for me. And then I'll show you. Oh, I got a little bit on my fancy board here. Okay, look, let me show you up close how, I hope it shows up. You see how you can see the layers? And hopefully it'll be opaque like that. And hopefully it won't be white. It'll be like a little off-white like that. So there's this one here and a little bit here. So right there I got more texture going on. And hopefully it'll dry like I want it to dry, which is like an opaque-ish. And of course I'm going to do a little bit on the inside, but I guess I'll do that off camera when it dries up a little bit. When the front dries up. Let me put this little guy aside because I don't want to step on him. So same thing. Just a little bit of my brush. Oh, it's going to be so pretty. There's a few things I miss doing, my mixed media, and I miss, because I was just showing you, I'm bringing out something to show you an example, and I ran into some artist trading cards, ATCs, and I used to love to make ATCs, and I have so many from so many artists from all over the world, and I think now we're doing artist circles or something to do like trading cards, but instead of 2.5 by 3.5, they're circles. They're called something, I forgot what they're called, but it's the same principle, and we trade them with other people, and I think it's a great idea, but you know, of course I haven't had time for any of that. But I used to do a lot of texture like this in my artist trading cards because it's a little space. Usually you're doing 5, 6, 7, 10 at a time, and you get it out of your system, and it's awesome. You get your messy, you know, like your messy art stuff out of the system. Can you see, am I in frame? Probably not, but I can't move it now because my stencil will move. Okay, so that's good. So see, I hardly didn't use any. Okay, guys, so you're gonna go back. I usually put a little plastic cellophane, like stretch, you know, stretchy, those stuff for cooking. I put a little bit on top of it, and then I close it, so that it will last me. And then I gotta wash this, which I will in a little bit. Okay, so of course, so see, I stayed away from anything that was going to bend. Let me bring you back out a little bit. So I kept the stenciling away from anything that's going to bend, like my flap or the side, because I don't know, once I bend it, it might go buck, and it'll. Okay, so put my stencil over here. So now for my final step. Now, some of you know what this is, some of you may not know what it is. I love, love, love working with micro beads. Micro beads are even smaller than sea glass beads. They're real tiny, 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 tiny little beads. And I love working with them. They add just the right amount, for, especially for this project where I want a little bit of texture, but I don't want anything big. I think it'll add just the right amount of intrigue and just enough little texture to peek through, but not too much. This is, let me just share where I store my, this is a pretty little tray. I made a little knob out of it. It's got little feet, but they're not glass feet. They're like beads, like these gigantic beads. And this little tray, I keep all of my Martha Stewart. This is pretty much it. This is all that I have. I don't think I have any more hiding any place. These are my micro beads and my very fine flakes, like that I use for Christmas and stuff like that. But most of it is micro beads. And I do have this little tray that I love. This little, I don't know what you call this, like a drainer thing, but it's little. And I have all these tiny little glass bottles in here. And they also have micro beads, like, look, this one. Can you see that? Is it gonna focus? Wait a minute. I gotta show you this, so I'm gonna go nuts. So you see that little glass bottle? You see the micro beads in there? I don't remember where I got these, but I had tons of these. And these have like little flakes, like all kinds of little flakes in all different colors. This is a microbead too. No, this is glitter. I use these. I made a lot of dangles with this because it has like a little hole. So I used them in a lot of dangles. I gave a lot of it away. And this is all that I have left. And this is my little stash. So actually it's not so little. So that goes here. And these are my microbeads. Let me show you. I brought out a couple of examples of how we have used microbeads, how I have used microbeads, and then my favorite artist person that, how she used her microbeads. Let me show you. This is from my friend Lily Leneca. And this is an artist trading card. This was my old YouTube channel. And this is her name. She gave me this in 2014. And we traded artist trading cards. And she gave me, this is her artist trading card that she gave me. As you can tell, there's a lot going on. There's some texture here. She did little blocks. Every single one of those things is a little cutout that she did. And, you know, Work Your Art is the name of her card. And these are her. She's got glitter everywhere. She's got things everywhere. But let me show you up close where are her microbeads. You see her microbeads right? Let's see if it'll focus if I start moving. You see all this wave? You see that? This whole wave here of microbeads that she embedded in there with glue. You can't see them that much because I think the weight of the microbeads went into the glue, but it's just beautiful, and it drapes all the way down here. That's how she used her microbeads. And that's what microbeads are. Look how I've used my microbeads. I altered some dominoes quite a few years back. They're real weight. They're plain dominoes, but they're the real thing. I put a little bail on them on top to turn them into like a little necklace, and I dangle a little something. This would look beautiful. I did the size in gold. This, I transfer an image. This would be beautiful dangling from an art journal. Why not? So I don't know if you can see my microbeads. Do you see them here? I mean, literally, they're like, you can't even see them. I have a few more over here. Look at this one. I got microbeads, some very tiny little gears from watches, and they're all embedded in there. They're not going anywhere. They do stick out a little bit, so you get a little bit of that texture, but they're not going anywhere. This one, what do I have in this one? This one, more microbeads and more. See the microbeads right there? And more of the little watch gears. One final one. I love making these domino pieces. These are the only ones I have left. Like I said, I gave a lot of them away. These are all gears. I guess I could use some of that in this. And then I did some in some bottle caps. See the microbeads in there? They're kind of like suspended. And this one, I am whatever I want to be. And God also said I am because I am. Look at that. This one. So those are the microbeads. They're literally called microbeads because you need a microscope. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, they're microbeads. So I want to use some microbeads on my thing. And I think I'm going to use, I don't know what I'm going to use, but this is my golden stuff. And I want to suspend it because I think I used some kind of tacky glue or something with that. But I don't want to use anything glossy. Soft gel, maybe. I want to mix them in the golden because I used them before in the golden. Heavy extra. I don't need anything extra. Coarse, no. Let me show you. I found a little sample on these. I love my golden stuff. They're like a treat. They're not cheap, but they're a treat. And I found some of the textures in case I forgot what they were. This is when you mix it with paint. Oh, I like this one. What is this one is called? See? Can you see that? I think this is not glossy, but it's a little shine. This is called Clear Tar Gel. I think this is the one I'm going to use. But see how dimensional they are. So see how these are like so dimensional. Let me see, let me show you. You see that? I don't need that because that will be competing with my micro beads. See, that'll be competing with my micro beads. I don't want anything to compete. I want the micro beads to be there, but I don't want any of this texture. So I think this guy might work. And the reason, which is this one, and the reason the clear tar gel is this one. And the reason I think this is going to work is because I'm not, you see how Lily did her, where is her thing? You see how she did her little wave of micro beads? Oh, I'm running out of batteries. You see how she did her wave of micro beads like that? I want it to be like splattery kind of, sort of. So we'll see. Okay guys, so I'm going to be right back. I'm running out of batteries. Okay guys, I'm back. I wonder if there's anybody still out there with me. I mean, I've been on this for a long time. This is turned out to be a long video that turned into a mixed media video that, oh boy. Okay, so the reason I'm using the gel, I think, instead of squeezing the glue, is because I don't want that defined. I think I know what, it's going to be so subtle, it's not going to make a difference. So, I don't want to use gold beads, no color beads. I think I want to use the ones that match this paint in my hand. See? Let me see. That's the paint that I used. See that, which is this paint. So I think that'll work. Okay, let's do this, people. Let's do this. So we'll move you back and we'll carefully, oh, it's drying out. You see how it's drying out? Oh, just what I wanted, just a little touch. Okay, so let me bring you in a little bit so I can show you how we're gonna do this. They have a little shaky because they're so little. Hi friends, so I'm back. Okay, my card got too full this time. You know that I'm going to be editing this video, so if you see any skips or jumps or anything like that, excuse me. But this has gotten way too long, but I'm having way too much fun. So, okay, so it's drying out. See how it's drying out? A little bit like opaque. Hopefully it'll stay like that and it won't be completely white. I love this. So they're drying out nicely. So, let's start doing the micro beading. Okay, which is a little bit, so what did I say? I was going to use the Gel Tar Clear. So I'm going to bring you in a little bit, actually like a lot, as much as I can, so I can show you. Okay, so I'm going to be using this little tray so that if my beads fall in there, I can just scoop the rest of them up and put them back on the little. So I think I'm going to, I want to definitely, let me move this back a little bit. I want to definitely do a little something here next to kind of keep all the focus in here. A little bit here. So let's see how this is going to work out with the tar gel. Like I said, I don't want it to run. I want it to be like a glob of something there. It's going to spread, but I don't know. So let's try pouring a little bit like this. Just a little bit of the glue. Kind of like this, a little bit. Like, kind of like a little bit. Let it go up a little like that. Yeah, maybe a little bit down here. Yeah, I think this is going to work. I can always seal it with something if I wanted to. But I don't know if I'm going to seal it or not. But yeah, I want it to be like a little bit of a glob like that. Not as neat as my friend Lily had it. A little bit more messy. So there goes the micro beads. There they go. And there they go. like that. Look. Look, you guys. Can you see the little beads? Like that. And then I'm going to do a little bit up here somewhere. Just a little bit. Like that. A little bit like that. So hopefully it's going to be a little bit messier. We're going to have to let this dry overnight before I do anything else to it. Oh, and I decided that I'm not going to stencil or do anything in the inside. See that? Look at all that yummy texture. I love it. I love it. And then it's going to be like this. And then once we do all the lace and all the stuff I'm going to do, you're going to be hardly not be able to see it because I'm going to veil some of it. So hopefully you're not going to even be able to see some of it. It'll be there, but it's like an understated thing going on. Okay, so let's do this little area here, which again, I'm going to do here, like that. And then I'm going to do a little bit here, like that. Here we go. My cat is hiding behind this table and he peeks up. He wants to play. A little bit here. You're kind of stuck a little bit. Oh, please don't do that. Please don't spill on me. And then again, a little bit on top. Very little. Oh, I can't wait to finish this now. I'm so excited. Grown for being nice. Be a good kitty cat. Okay guys, so look at my micro beads there, and then a little bit down here with all the stenciling. I love it. Okay, so we're gonna let these babies, let me move back. We're gonna let these babies dry. I'm gonna clean up my little mess. And then I'm going to, let me give you a once over again. And then I'm going to show you how, next time you see this, hopefully it will be turned into a beautiful junk journal. So hopefully you'll like what I'm doing. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for coming along with me and crafting with me. And again, if this is a little bit too long for you, just speed it up or only watch the parts that you like or whatever. Okay guys, thanks for watching. God bless. Bye-bye. Thanks for hanging out.